Good day, students. We'll look at the solution to number 9 in this video. A number 9 long answer, a full solution question coming from your book 2 chapter 3 sample quiz, right? Found in your ma1026 booklets. And it's asking us to perform the indicated operation and simplify. And the operation that they talk about, of course, in this one is subtraction. So we're asked to subtract these two and then simplify. Now, before you can do any type of subtraction or addition with rational expressions or fractions, if you want to call them fractions, you must have what we call a common denominator. And we try to find the lowest, the least common denominator. And that's the first thing you got to do here. What is the least common denominator? Okay? So in order to do that, you look at your denominators. Now if I look at the first denominator, I see a trinomial. Now when it's a trinomial, we often have to factor that first before we choose the LCD. Okay, so let's see if we can factor x squared plus 5x subtract 14. Now, again, we're looking for two numbers that multiplied. What are two numbers that multiply to give you 1 times negative 14, which is negative 14. Okay, and add together to give you the middle term. And of course that's middle coefficient, which is 5, or the coefficient of the x term. So can we find two numbers that multiply to give you negative 14 and add to give you positive 5? Okay, and we can find those numbers pretty quickly. They are, of course, minus 7 and plus 2. Now that will give you negative 14, but when you add you get negative 5. Okay, so it's not negative. Let's fix that. It looks like it's going to be right, positive 7 and negative 2. So let's fix that right away. Alright, so positive 7 and negative 2. Let's double check. Multiply negative 14, add, okay, plus 5. There we go. Now, of course, if it's a simple trinomial, simple meaning that the coefficient of the x squared term is 1, then you can write your factors right away. It's going to be x plus 7, x subtract 2. Okay, so this one here, bottom over here, factors to x plus 7 and x subtract 2. Minus, now what about this denominator? No, that's at lowest as it can go, cannot be simplified. Now, choose your LCD after you factor if your denominators are factorable. Now, I need one of every factor. So I need that one, right? So x plus 7 is a factor I need, and I need, yeah, I need that one as well, x minus 2, and I need, do I need to repeat that? No. So therefore I have my factors, my LCD, x plus 7 times x minus 2. Alright, so there's my LCD. Now, so what I got to do now is make sure each denominator is written as x plus 7, x minus 2. So I'm going to write them right here, right now. And this one as x plus 7, x minus 2. Okay? Now, this one, how do I make this one the same as that one? Well, it's already the same. So I don't have to worry about that one. That one already is the common denominator, so I don't multiply to 3x by any factor. Now, how do I make this one become x plus 7, x minus 2? What's missing? X plus 7. So I have to multiply this one by x plus 7. Of course, if I multiply the bottom by it, the denominator, I must multiply the numerator by it. Okay, so I got 4 outside of x plus 7. So now I can rewrite that all over one common denominator. X plus 7 times x subtract 2. Now be very careful on top. I'm going to get 3x, there's a minus sign, 4 outside of x plus 7. And if there's a mistake made in this, it's usually right here with the sign. When you're subtracting, be very careful with the sign, because when we do the distributive property now, right, we're going to do minus 4 times x and the minus 4 times 7. In other words, that minus sign distributes with the 4 if you remove those brackets. So be very careful. So the top will be 3x, stays the same. Minus 4 times x is minus 4x. Minus 4 times positive 7 is minus 28. And again, I'll say that if the mistake is made, it's usually right here. People will get that sign wrong because they forget to distribute the minus sign. Okay, and remember, when you're subtracting rational expressions, be careful with that minus sign in the middle. Now, what can we do here? We can add the 3x and negative 4x to get negative 1x minus 28 all over x plus 7, x minus 2, and it looks like that this doesn't simplify any further. So I'll add the restrictions now, comma, x cannot equal what? Whatever makes a denominator negative, or 0, so it'll be negative 7 and positive 2. So there's a complete solution now for number 9 in your book 2 chapter 3 sample quiz.